Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the utmost character of our world around us, and this time we will discuss such a phenomenon which is commonly known fashion. People think that first what comes to the mind of the majority of people when they hear the word, in quotation, fashion, they think about clothes, about fashion shows in such cities like Milan, Paris, or Tokyo, and this is it for them. But it's not the entire picture. In reality, fashion has broader meaning, because fashions are also placed in journalism, in science, and I will try to depict this situation to you within this video. For instance, recently I was browsing the internet and I encountered such article claiming that Roman Empire fall because of the climate change. What? And later I started digging into this article and selecting some historical facts, author or authors of this article, because I don't remember if there was only one or more, tried to prove that due to the fact that there were some changes, geological changes, or some eruptions of volcanoes, earthquakes and so on in late antiquity. In fact, there were some. We can postulate that there was a huge climate change, there was a starvation in some regions. It happened not only in this period of time, and that's why Roman Empire fell. It's a really ignorant approach, because we know that history is much more complicated than we think, and then there are many more components of the current or past situations that affect the final outcome. Okay, so everywhere now where we hear about climate change. Some time ago I also found the article claiming it was like a almost copy-paste of the article about Roman Empire, but now the author placed within the place of the Roman Empire the Hittite Empire from the times of the end of the Bronze Age. That Hittite Empire fall because of the climate change. Also, quite complicated and sophisticated matter, cannot be explained by one event or series of events connected only with one factor that affects human existence. Another example of stupid human fashion that people follow in science and in our common imagination was recently in the late 1990s, 1987, one Nigerian doctor published a paper that he postulated that Roman Empire fall because of the lead poisoning, because they were using lead pipes, and lead poisoning, we know, can cause some mental damages, and that's why emperors were getting mad. Famous Caligula, we will discuss him, his case is not so easy, Commodus, and so on. Of course, this claim of this guy from Nigeria is classical case of becoming very well known and very well cited by telling half idiocy and half true, mixture of truths and idiocy. It's true that Roman people were using lead pipes to transport water from aqueducts, but they were using it not only during the imperial time, but also during the times of their greatest development of expansion, so during the republican times and during the early imperial times as well. And somehow at those days of the blooming state and blooming Roman civilization, Roman society and Roman Empire didn't show any sign of the decomposition, but they were still drinking water from the same lead pipes. And it's good to remember that lead pipes were used also commonly in Europe and in many other civilizations until the late 19th century, and somehow we didn't collapse, at least not in the way this Nigerian doctor postulated. And also investigations done by analytical chemists proved that maybe in the water that Romans were potable water were taking and drinking from their lead pipes, the concentration of lead ions were a little bit higher, but it was still within the norms tolerated easily by human organism. So we see that we shouldn't follow blindly human fashions. And coming back to climate fashion, I only want to remember and remind you how we are manipulated with this. What I mean, in 1977 there was one of the covers of the magazine Time showing penguin on the top of the iceberg, and this and there was a subtitle: "Are we ready for an ice age?" 31 years later, in 2008, there was a picture showing the soldiers just planting the trees. It was written, "Are we able to face global warming?" Now, after cooling and warming, now we have climate change. Change in what direction? In the direction decided by people who make business out of it and have power. This is all about climate change, what I think. And climate, like everything in nature, was always evolving. But what's the human influence on that? How big influence on that the human activity has? We actually don't know, in comparison to the forces of nature that were affecting climate from the beginning of our planet Earth. So we see that we shouldn't follow blindly the fashions. We should stick to the facts, make our own research, use our own brains, and make proper conclusions, and stay away from fashions that changes from one end to another with respect to the interests of some group of people who are cashing on it, are cashing on making other people stupid and making them pay for the things they don't need. All the best, have a nice day, bye.